All right, I'm gonna try this again. All right, let's see here. All right, so hopefully we'll get some viewers in here fast and make sure my camera and mic's working. I went live a few minutes ago and my face was squished, but I think I'm good now. I think I'm good now. So better, not squished. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, so what's up, everybody? I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. It's the last day of the month. I know it. It feels like it. I don't know. Did it feel like January flew by? I feel like January drug on. Usually January's fly by, but I don't know. I feel like this one kind of drug on. But I'm excited for 2023. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Whether you're catching this live or on the replay, let me know in the comments. But I'm fired up. I'm fired up about this year. It's been a long time since I've felt this focused and this just motivated to go all in. And I feel it. I feel it not just in myself, but I also feel it from the people that I'm working with. I feel it in the team. I see it in others. I feel like this year, there's just something special about this year. And maybe it's because the last few years have been just kind of blah, like just kind of, but this year feels like maybe it's my hair. So my wife, oh, y'all probably saw that post. My wife's talking me into to growing my hair out. And so people didn't even know that I have hair. So like I have a full head of hair. I just been shaving it since I was in Iraq. So I've been shaving my head since that's all messed up from my hat. So I'm gonna put my hat back on. Um, I've been shaving my head since 2004, 2005 when I was in Iraq. So now my hat's crooked because it's like a mirror image. So when I fix it the wrong way. So I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, I've been shaving my head for almost 20 years. I forgot what I even looked like with hair. So now I'm looking at like videos, like training videos in our team Facebook group, and I see myself with this bald head. I'm like, I looked ridiculous. I can't believe I let myself just look like that for almost 20 years. But or maybe I'm used to having hair now. I bet when I had a shaved head and I looked at myself with hair, I thought I looked ridiculous too. I guess we just get used to things. But um, but no, I wanted to chat with you guys tonight, and I hope I share some things that move you. I hope I share some things that add value to your life, because I've been through a lot of stuff over the last decade. I've grown up a lot. I've gone through lots of challenges, adversity. I've learned a lot. I've failed forward, hopefully, um, and uh, and I just wanted to share a few things tonight with you about that experience, and in hopes that it may impact your life positively, um, like it has mine. One of the things that I've really realized over the last 10 years, especially, in the darkest of times, when it's just really tough. And I can say I've experienced that multiple times in the last 5 years. And I'll be transparent with you guys. I'm going through kind of a tough time right now. I'm going through a little bit of a tough time right now. So um, I'm not going to get too much into it, but life life happens for us, not to us. And if you can find the reasons, if you can find the silver lining, if you can find the reasons God's putting you through the things He's putting you through, you're going to come out wiser. You're going to come out stronger on the other end. Um, I take full responsibility for everything in my life that's ever happened, good and bad. Uh, I don't relinquish control to external circumstances. You know, I it's been a growing process over the last 10 years, and that's what life's about. If you went to the movies and watched the movie and everything just happened great throughout the whole movie, there was no drama, there's no polarity, there's no you can't really have good without bad. You can't have sweet without sour. And so I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for the good times, the bad, the ugly, because it's led me to where I am here. So had these things not happened, had I've not, made the mistakes I've made, had I not failed in areas of my life, um, and I wouldn't have grown from those mistakes. I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I learned. I wouldn't be able to help the people that I know who may be going through similar circumstances. I wouldn't be able to help them from, at least from experience. And you know, I wouldn't have the life that I have today. So I am grateful. I'm grateful for all of it. So um, Cindy just texted me, "Are you still going live?" Cindy, I'm live right now. So you'll see that if you watch the replay. You're texting me. Um, but let me tell you guys just a little bit about my story, because one of the biggest breakthroughs that I think I one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had, I think will impact you guys if you really take it in and maybe consider applying it to your life, because it's changed everything. And then in the darkest times, I lean on this to get me out of it, and it works. And it works. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. And I'm not saying you should take notes when I talk or anything like that, but sometimes people just write notes when they listen to people. So um, go through life with big ears, big eyes, and a small mouth, meaning be a voracious learner. Expect everyone you meet might know something that you don't, and try to find it, try to figure it out. Um, I heard a guy say one time, he said, the only difference between the student and the master is that the master has mastered the art of always being a student. So I hope I say something tonight that may get you to think, and maybe even think a little bit bigger. 10 years ago, in the summer of 2012, a little over 10 years now, a friend of mine that I served in Iraq with introduced me to entrepreneurship, network marketing specifically. At the time, I was working for the Louisiana State Police. I was a state trooper. I was in law enforcement for 11 years. We had served in Iraq back in 2004, 2005, when I shaved my head. Um, and I didn't talk to the guy for about 7 years. So he reached out to me in 2012, shared a business with me. I got all excited about the earning potential, you know, being able to create an income from home, being able to scale a business, create time freedom. My son has autism. So we have 5 children between the two of us, me and my wife. But my youngest, who's now 11, Jax, uh, he has high functioning autism. So when he was young, when I was getting started in entrepreneurship, one of the biggest driving factors for me was to be a more of a present father. I wanted to be home with my son and my 2 daughters as well. But I wanted to make sure I was there. I was able to provide for him. I wanted to be present. You know, it was important to me. And I've had my fun. You know, I was in combat. I'm a combat veteran. I served. You know, I was an infantry. I was an infantry sergeant in the Army, but I was a Humvee gunner, and I drove a little bit too. But uh, you know, with the state police, I ended up being on the SWAT team with the state police, and I taught defensive tactics and things like that. So I've gotten out in the world. I've seen a lot of things. I was 22 years old when I was in Iraq. So I mean, I saw a lot of things at a young age. We lost 35 guys in our unit when I was in Iraq, when I was in Baghdad. So I mean, yeah, I've been around the block. But so I wasn't afraid to miss out, you know, by maybe retiring a little early or getting out of corporate America. But I fell in love with the idea of network marketing. Um, but here's what changed my life. So that was my story. So anyway, I'll just kind of finish. So when I got into network marketing, I worked really hard, and I was able to walk away from my job in 2014. Actually, on my oldest daughter's 8th birthday, uh, June 5th of 2014. She's now about to be 17 this year. So that's crazy to think that it's been that long. But yeah, so I haven't had a job in about a decade, and that's been a blessing. You know, that's been an absolute blessing. The time freedom that I've had over the last 10 years, in comparison to the time I would not have had I had you know had continued working at the state police, working 12-hour shifts. You know, always gone. Alone has been a blessing. In fact, so much to the point where last year we traveled a lot. You know, I felt like I really just relaxed a lot last year. But so in hold on, let me back up. I'm ADD, so you do have to forgive me. Legit ADD. So my mind will jump, and so it's hard for me to stay in chronological order sometimes when I'm telling a story. Well, in 2020, August of 2020, I transitioned companies. So I was with another company for 8 years, transitioned to the company that I'm at uh, in now, my second company, my last company, hopefully, and been here since August of 2020. It changed my life. Met some of the most amazing people, as did I in the previous company. Met some amazing people, and and we're all where we are today because of the ability to do exactly what I'm about to tell you. Okay, so when I in 2020, when my back was against the wall, things were really bad in my life. It was the darkest time in my entire life. 2019, personal life completely turned upside down. Business went to shit. I mean, I lost it. It was going to zero. Um, Transitioned to Modairs, where I'm at now. It turned up and life was good. My wife and I just gotten married in January of 2020. And as my world was falling apart, and in August of 2020, we transitioned and business got good because, I mean, I felt like I feel right now, just laser focused, tunnel vision. Nothing else matters except extreme productivity and getting results. And
Here's what I found.
so I wrote down. Oh man, I wish I had my wallet. Oh golly, I wrote on a 3x5 index card. I wrote this was August 11th of 2020. Had no idea I was about to transition companies 8 days later, but I wrote some goals down on a business card, and I'm getting to the changing the life part. So I wrote down some goals, folded it up, believed that these things were going to happen. I stuck it in my wallet, and 8 days later, I reached out to John Melton. I was just at a weird, just we were on our way home from Houston. I was just sitting here, just thinking, really trying to tap into my subconscious mind and figure out a solution for where I was at in my life. Something intuitively told me to reach out to this man, John Melton, who I followed online. I watched his content. I knew he was still in the field. I knew he was still building the business, but I loved his energy. I related to the guy. First person I reached out to, I didn't like vet different companies. Look, all I did was just reach out to this guy. I didn't even know what company he was in. That's a huge nugget. People join people, not companies. Okay. So, long story short, we had a great conversation. I ended up joining his team, and that's why I am where I am today. But let me back the story up. So, when I got into network marketing, I was introduced to personal development and success principles and things like that. I had no idea about any of this stuff when I started network marketing. So in 2012, when I was introduced to entrepreneurship, like when you talk about leadership principles, personal development, I mean, I maybe learned a couple of things of leadership in the military and law enforcement, but I'm talking about success principles. Uh, I knew nothing. And I don't know, my watch keeps trying to talk to me. Um, I when I was introduced to this, I fell in love with the idea of it. And I just like became obsessive when it comes to like personal development. And like I'm talking old school stuff, like Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, James Allen, Og Mandino, all those like old school success stuff. And I just loved it. Like I loved it. So I started listening to things like The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, reading things like the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and I started learning about, you know, like metaphysical universal laws, and this stuff was super interesting to me. So I started playing with it, like, and I don't want to like make you guys think this is some kind of cheesy, like hokey, oh, just believe and it'll happen. Guys, I'm going to tell you something here. Like I'm telling you, this stuff changed my entire life. So I started just thinking differently. And I realized very quickly I was just consumed. So prior to this, I was consumed with negative thinking. Like just always like just around negative people. I was putting negative things into my mind, listening to things I shouldn't listen to, watching things I probably shouldn't have watched. Just inputting, programming my mind in a way it shouldn't have been programmed. So once I realized, that our programming is going to lead to the way we think. Our thoughts are going to lead to our feelings and our emotions. Our emotions are going to lead to our actions, and then our actions will ultimately lead to our results. And those results will then reinforce our thoughts. So it's a vicious cycle. But once I learned to start putting positive things into my mind and started listening to people who I wanted to maybe not emulate, but I wanted to live like they lived. So I stopped listening to people who didn't have the lifestyle that I was looking for. Completely cut them all off. Like, I'm not listening to a word you say about anything. I don't care if you're in my family. I don't care if you're my friend. If you aren't living the way I want to live, your advice means zippo to me. Zip, nada. I didn't listen to it. So, and still to this day, I will not take advice from someone who I would not trade lives with, or someone who is living a life similarly to what I would want to live. So I'm very particular about who I listen to and who I take advice from. Because if you're willing to accept someone else's opinion about what you're doing, you better be willing to accept that person's lifestyle. And so there's very few people that I'll accept their lifestyle, right? So as I started diving into these personal development books, and everyone that I'd listen, every millionaire and billionaire, all these people that I'd listen to, always talking about, the power of thought, how your inner world creates your outer world, and how your personal development level and your income level won't stay too far apart from each other for an extended amount of time. So like if someone wins the lottery, but their personal development level is down here, that income is going to drop right back down to where they were, and vice versa. If you work on yourself, Jim Rohn says work on yourself harder than you do on your job, because working on your job will make you a living, but working on yourself will make you a fortune. So if that is the case, and you work on yourself and you become more valuable, well, you're always going to be paid in proportion to that. So you're always going to be paid in proportion to the value that you add to the marketplace. So the money, if you work to add value, and Jim Rohn says, become a millionaire, not for the money, but for who you'll become in the process of achieving it. If you work on yourself consistently, guess what? You can't get away from the money. It'll chase you down. But I'm here to tell you that if you stop working on yourself, you can't live off the past. You can't live off past accolades and things that you've done, and maybe credibility that you may have carried in this one place. It just doesn't carry with you forever. If you take your foot off the gas and you lower your standards, or because your standards are maybe set at a certain place in your life and you start to exceed that, your income's going to come right back down to where you are. And I've learned this, the hard way, and I've learned it more than once. you know so you have to constantly be growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not gaining ground, you're losing ground. If you're not ripening, you're rotting. The whole idea, you can't just stay still. If you stay still, you're losing ground, because that's time you could have been gaining ground. So because you're not gaining ground, you're now losing ground. So I started getting into personal development. I started learning these success principles. I started believing bigger. I started writing things down. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, if you're not writing things down, you're missing it. Success is 90 to 99% spiritual and 1 to 10% physical. And by physical, I mean the how to, the what you're doing, if you will. The 90 to 99% spiritual is your mindset, what you're thinking about, your belief level, your confidence, your competence, your ability to see the future, to have clarity of vision, to know exactly where you're heading in life. That's things that is all spiritual inside of you. God gave you a certain dream for a reason. And sometimes you'll explain that to small-minded people, and they'll try to steal that dream from you. But he gave it to you. He didn't give it to them. So remember that if you're sharing your goals and sharing your dreams with people who don't think like you think, a lot of times they'll try to bust your bubble or discourage you, and you can't let them do that. Remember, you don't want to trade lives with these people, so why would you accept their opinion? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Okay? So once I started understanding these concepts and started listening to people that added value to my life and listened to things that served me in a positive way, it changed my entire life. Then I became a creator, and I say that, I believe we're all creators. So I believe that we're God's highest form of creation, as human beings. I believe that we're capable of anything and everything. I mean, think back. Think when the dawn of man. Think of when we started on this planet. What you have: animals, dirt, water, people. And now look where we're at. I mean, people flying across the sky in big jets and going to space. And I mean, you're looking at me right now on your laptop or your phone from wherever you are in real time and seeing my face and listening to my voice. And your phone is not even connected to me. There's no wires connecting it. It's all energy waves going out into space, into the ether. That's how everything is. It's all energy. It's all energy. Guys, God created us so powerful, powerful. Our mind, this multi-trillion dollar computer between our ears is capable of so much. And yet we hold ourselves back and we lower our standards so low because we we conform. We conform to the masses. So we just expect life to be the way it is, and you get exactly out of life what you expect. Your subconscious mind will go to work to prove whatever your conscious mind believes. So, so going back to the whole spiritual physical thing, so these dreams that you have, these thoughts and these dreams and this vision that you have for your life can absolutely come true. But if you don't believe, like the Bible says, the Bible doesn't say with God, small things are possible. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. It says all things are possible. But it also says this to those who believe. Belief is such a big deal. And then this is one of the things that changed my life. In fact, the first personal development book that I read was a book by Dr. David Schwartz, and it's called The Magic of Thinking Big, recommended to me by the late Larry McDonald. And that book changed my life. I started thinking bigger. In fact, if I could give you a nugget tonight, it'd be think much bigger, much sooner. Because here's the thing, guys, it's all possible if you believe it is. And when you believe bigger, you expect bigger. And you'll get exactly out of life what you expect. In your inner world, it's like a projector. The thoughts you have, the feelings you have, when you can align the two and they're congruent and you get emotional about these goals, your emotions is what gives your thoughts life. So when you get fired up and you're emotional, and that's why people say, "What's your why?" Like Simon Sinek has a book, "Start with Why," and it's in fact he has a great TED talk, how great leaders inspire action or something like that is what it's called. But it's about your why, and the reason that people talk about your why is because your why is something that you're emotional about, and when you can get emotional about a specific goal, that emotion it does something. So when you're writing down these things, so like tonight, if you say, you know what, I'm writing out, I want to write out my ideal lifestyle and write it down to the finite detail, the most specific lifestyle you could possibly imagine. And you write this out and put it somewhere where you can review it often and focus on this and hold these thoughts in your mind. And I'm not trying to be all cheesy here, but I mean, please hear me out on this. This is not, I didn't make this up. This is things that have been taught to me, but things that I've done and applied over in multiple times. And then when I've got away from it, the opposite happens to me, which has happened to me multiple times in my life. So we do have to raise our standards because see, our standards are where our shoulds turn into musts. So Tony Robbins talks about that. So when you have a certain standard in your life, it's like a thermostat in your house. So if your thermostat's set to 71 degrees, and right now it's cooling off outside here in Louisiana. So let's just say it's 45 degrees outside. I open all the doors, and it gets 45 degrees in the house. I close the doors, the thermostat set to 71, it's going to bring the temperature back up to 71. That's kind of how the standards are in your life. So when you have a standard of who you are, a self-image, so to speak, of who you are, what you deserve, what you're capable of, what you should have, what you expect ultimately for yourself and for your life. When you get below that point, when you get below that set point, you're like, shit, I got to make things happen. Like What am I doing? I relaxed too long. I took my foot off the gas. Life's falling apart. Now all these I should do this, I should do that turn into I must do this, I must do that, I have to do this. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills if I don't. My kids won't be able to eat. I won't be able to take, you know, life starts falling apart if you get or in your mind life has fell apart if you get below that standard. So then you're like you get super focused because you have to get yourself back up to that standard because that's who you are, that's what you expect, that's how you should live. But it also works a different way. When you start living beyond that standard, you have a little more money in the bank than you're used to. You have things are going good. Your team's rocking and rolling. Business is popping. You're like, what's on Netflix? What's the new series? Any good things we can watch? You start getting relaxed and you start taking your foot off the gas. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. I'm speaking to myself tonight, just like I'm speaking to you. You start falling back. Your musts become shoulds. Uh, instead of I must have a team call tonight. I must engage with my leaders. I should engage with my leaders. I should probably have a team call, but the game's on. People are probably busy. You start making excuses. You start justifying the reasons you're not doing the things that you should be doing or must be doing to continue that growth that you could have. You start basing your you start basing your goals off of your past and who you've associated with versus your potential, your God-given potential, and what you're actually capable of and who you're actually capable of becoming, the best version of yourself. So once once I realized these things, which I'm still realizing and I'm still learning, I realized that we have the power to write our future. I mean, I'm talking design it like an artist designs a masterpiece. You can design it to the finite detail and it happened just the way you plan. So it does give you a sense of relief and confidence because you say, hey, you know what? Here's where my life's at. I'm going through a tough time, but I do know from experience if I keep my thoughts positive, if I don't focus on what's going wrong, don't look for the reasons it's not going to happen because like I said, your ego or your subconscious mind will go to prove that right. If you look for the reasons it's not going to happen, it won't. If you look for the reasons it's going to happen and look for the reasons it will happen and expect it to happen, it will. And that's as simple as I can say it. But here's the thing. It gives you the power. It gives you the power. And I'm going to speak about another power, which is your voice. So I can't forget to talk about this. And I can't see the comments at the moment. I'm going to go back and review before I get off of here, I'm going to connect with you guys in the comments. I can't see them the way my computer's set up right now, but I'll be able to scroll down and check it out in here in just a second. But we have the power to do this, to write our future. We have the power to create. If God created us in his image and he created, or if you believe, and I'm not speaking religion, God is God. If God created us in his image, what makes you believe we don't have the creative faculties to do the same exact thing, to just create? In fact, you can take a look around from exactly where you're sitting right now. Look around the room. Look at everything that you can see and touch. It was once a thought in someone's mind. Before the physical equivalent manifested or came to reality, it was a thought in someone's mind. It started out as a thought. The chair you're sitting in, the material that it's made, the design, the curves, the table, the computer you're watching me on, the phone you're watching, every single thing was once a thought in someone's mind. A thought that came from somewhere because some people took zero and turned it into one, meaning they created something that's never existed before. It came from somewhere. I believe God. Okay. Again, I believe God puts these dreams in our heart and the things in our heart. Leonardo da Vinci said he would dream about his painting and then he'd wake up and paint his dream. I believe that was Da Vinci. So we have power. We have the power to create. But you have to be intelligent about the way you ask. That's why people say write things down and write them down very specifically. That's you putting it out into the world. That's you taking it from the spiritual and putting it into the physical. Um, it's like an architecture. I mean, an architect or blueprints for your life. You got to put it down. You got to write it down. You got to have clarity. You got to know exactly the target you're aiming at. And that clarity of writing it down, taking it from your mind and from your heart and feeling it and writing it down with emotion and knowing this, not hoping, knowing, knowing. I mean, when you think about knowing something, but even believing is doubt compared to knowing. If you know something, you don't have to believe it, you know it. So believe so high that you know. Like when you say I say it, when I say it, when I write it down, it's done. It's already done. And that's how you have to think about your goals and expect these things to happen. And it's sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the world and the economy and inflation and get that scarcity mindset because the majority of people do have that. So if you conform to that, it's easy to get sucked in. So I don't watch the news. CNN, constant negative news. Why? Why watch that? To put fear in your mind? No. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Understand the power that you have, that you can create. You can write things down, believe that they're going to happen, go to work to make them happen. Now, you have to take action. I heard someone say one time, if you just sit on your couch and think positive thoughts all the time, eventually somebody's going to come get your couch. You have to take action. But here's what happens. Your reticular activator goes to work for you. So when you know something's going to happen and you believe it and you expect it, you start seeing opportunities and doors open that are congruent with that goal, and that your subconscious mind goes to work for you. Your conscious mind is like an ant. Okay, your conscious mind, you're making daily decisions. That ant's going here, it's going there, it's walking. But your subconscious mind is like an elephant, and that ant is on the elephant's back. So you may be doing this, and this, and making all these simple decisions daily. But that elephant, it's going where it's going. The ant can do all the things he wants to do on his back, but the elephant's going where it's going. Your subconscious mind and what you believe deep down inside, what you expect out of life is the elephant. It's going where it's going. So you have to change your subconscious mind, because when your subconscious mind knows you're going to this specific destination, it starts going to work to prove or to get you there, because it knows it doesn't hope you're going to get there. It knows this is where this person is going. So when you write these things down and you review them often, you're training your subconscious mind. So when your reticular activator, and what your reticular activator is when a mom hears their baby's voice, and you see a bunch of babies, they could be like at the playground, and all these little kids are screaming, but they hear their baby, they know their child's voice. Mom. Oh, they're like, oh, that's my kid. That's a reticular activator. You buy a red Lexus and you're driving around your red Lexus, you're going to start noticing red Lexuses. Those cars were there before, but now you're noticing them because you have a reason to. So when you know you're going to a specific destination, when you have these goals, these set, and you believe and you expect these things to happen subconsciously, and this is just what's going to happen, you start noticing ways for it to happen. The opposite holds true. If you don't expect it to happen for you and you're looking for all the excuses and reasons it's not going to work, you're going to find them. So you have to train your subconscious mind, and we have the power to do this. We have the power to do this, my friends. I'm telling you, this isn't theoretical. I've lived this and done this multiple times in my life with 100% success ratio. So this is what you got to do. You have to get clarity on what it is you actually want in this life. So many people, you ask a person what they want, they don't even know how to dream anymore. Life has beat them down, and they've brought their income down to match their little dreams that they don't even hardly have anymore. Instead of, or I'm sorry, they bring their dreams down to match their income, is what it is. So they're making a certain amount of money. Instead of dreaming big, life beats them down and their dreams come down to match their income, because they don't realize that your income can grow to match your dreams if you believe and find the way to do it. There are people out there. There are millions, and I'm not saying I'm this and I'm that and I have all this money, guys. I'm just like you. I'm growing and going through this life just like you. I don't try to uh, act like I'm somebody special, because I'm not. I'm just like you, going through the same struggles you are. Okay, but we can grow together and we can accomplish this together. And I know that this works because I've done it many, many times. You can bring your income up to match your dreams. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, God gave you these dreams in your heart for a reason. They're there for a reason. You can accomplish them. You can speak things into existence. God, the Bible says there's the power of life and death is in the tongue. Well, you can speak life into people. You can speak life into yourself. You can speak death into yourself. You can speak death into other people. People can speak death into you. And if you don't stand guard at the door of your mind and you allow that to happen, then it's going to happen. That's input, programming that leads to your thoughts, that lead to your emotions, that lead to your actions, that lead to your results. So if you allow people to program your thoughts, if you allow people to piss on your brain, you'll password protect your phone, you'll password protect your computer so nobody can get to that, but you won't protect your own mind. You have to protect your mind. So Jim Rohn says, stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let these negative people input this programming into your mind. Your voice is powerful. It's so important to keep the promises that you make to yourself. If you say something, you better do it. If you say, I'm going to do this, you better do it. Because if you say it and then you don't do it, now you're taking the magic out of your words. You're taking the power out of your words. But if you say, if you, in this build, and Ed Milet says, the best way to build confidence is keeping the promises that you make to yourself. If you say something, follow through with what you say you're going to do every time. Every time. Your word should be something that's sacred to you. Okay, but here's what happens when you start doing that. When you start speaking things and doing them and following through, and you create habits of, if I say it, it's already done. If I write it down, it's already done. If I believe it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I expect it to happen, it's going to happen. And that's how you go through life, with an optimistic outlook that things are just going to work out. They're just going to happen. Because where focus goes, energy flows. So if things are getting tough in your life, and trust me, I know, guys, I've been there. I've been through some dark times. They can suck you in, man. They can suck you in to where it steals all your belief and all your hope, and you're just like, I just want to throw your hands up and give up. I've been to that point. I've been to that point where it's just like, what's the point anymore? But you got people that need you. You have people that care about you. You have people that look up to you. Believe it or not, somebody looks up to you. If you have kids, that should be reason enough. That's what it was for me. So it got me through. Understand this: when you realize the power that you possess, and you believe, and you write these things down, and you set goals, and you create daily disciplines and create habits that serve you in a positive way, whether they're health habits, whether they're mind, mental, and your health, your physical health and your mental health are related. Get out and exercise. I mean, shoot, I got marks that's on my neck right there. I was just got back from MMA. I got all scratched up. I got a good one on my back of my neck. But I stay active. I like to fight, and that's my thing. I play basketball with some friends, but you should get out and do some things that are active. Do push-ups. Do some push-ups every day. Knock out a few push-ups. Knock out some jumping jacks. Do some crunches. I like to jump in my cold pool. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get used to stretching yourself, putting yourself through resistance, because that's how we grow in life as well. Don't be afraid of resistance. Don't be afraid of adversity and obstacles that are going to come in your way. If you have a purpose in your heart, it will pull you through these things because your purpose, your vision, the things that you want to accomplish, the person that you know who you are, the standards that you have set for yourself, the clearer that vision, the harder it will pull you through. The bigger the obstacle, it will pull you through. So you have to become the person who can get through these things. So you got to work on yourself, but just I think I went long. I'm sorry for talking 40 minutes. I get passionate about this because you know what? I don't do these lives very often. You'll see me post up, live free, you know, all my stuff. And I like to post positive stuff, but sometimes I just have it on my heart to like tell you exactly what happened to me. And I just realized how powerful that we are. That's it. For 10 years, I asked myself, I'm like, how am I living this way? How do I not have a job? How do it just happen to work out for me every time? I feel like I just get lucky over and over and over and over again. But then when I get into personal development, I start reading these books that I'm looking at a stack of them right now in my office. And I remember it's because I'm attracting it. Success is not something you pursue. It's something that you attract by who you are. It's also something that you repel by who you are. And I've done both. I've repelled it, I've attracted it, and I've gone like a yo-yo sometimes in my life because I lose sight sometimes. And I'm just being honest, I'm just being transparent with you. I'm not perfect. I have to be reminded, and God will humble you. If you get off track, He will put you in a position to get you on track once again. So I just say all that to say this, if you watch this, if you hung with me, let me say hi to a couple people as I'm wrapping up. Cindy said, delete the small-minded people. Amen, my friend. What's up, Corey? My man, Corey James. Frank Regobuto, what's up? Lisa Hinkle, hey. Michelle Magruder. Don Chandler, Matt Corey, what's up? Ashley Carter, hey. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Frank Regobuto, I don't know if Danette Wilson, what's up? There's a lot of comments that I can't see, I think. And it does make you stronger, Cindy. You're absolutely right. Adversity makes you stronger. When you come out on the other side, you will be so much stronger than when you went in. And that's the purpose. That's how we evolve, is by going through things. Again, life happens for you, not to you. So look for the lesson. Get refocused. Understand you do have the power to change at any time in your life. You have the power to change directions. And usually the reason your direction changes is because subconsciously you're not focused on the right thing. Remember, where focus goes, energy flows. What you focus on will expand. What you think about, you bring about. What happens in your mind will happen in time. But you have to believe, you have to know, and you have to expect it. So I tell you that to say this: whatever it is you want in life, figure out what that is. Spend the rest of your natural life going after that thing. And when things start falling apart, which they might, understand you have the power to change it. Get refocused. Get clarity on the things that matter. There's a difference in being busy and productive. You have to figure out, hey, what do I need to do to produce the income I need to reach the standards I have set, and raise those standards, raise that level in your mind, and expect nothing less. You deserve it. It doesn't matter where your parents worked. It doesn't matter where you came from or how you lived as a child. It doesn't matter of the things people told you and who made the way people may have made you feel. God, you're God's highest form of creation as a human being. And I'm here to tell you that you are capable of whatever it is, the dream that you have in your heart. God wants us to live an abundant life. It says in John 10:10, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you should have life and that more abundantly. Right? God wants us to, You think God is a God that puts all these beautiful, nice things on this earth to say, oh, no, that's just for those people. That's not for you. No. Now, don't worship money. Don't worship materialistic things. Do it for the right reasons. The more you have, the more you can give, the bigger difference you can make, the more people you can inspire to live a better life and become the best version of themselves. Do it for the right reasons with a good heart. Serve, make a difference, add value to other people. And these things will start happening. Be grateful. Be grateful every day. Gratitude should be the default emotion. It opens you up to receive. Why would God give you more if you're not even grateful for what you have right now? What is he going to say? Oh, if you gave someone a gift and they're like, I'll open it later. Whatever. You want to give them another gift? No. They open it up. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. This means the world to me, and I cherish it. I'm really genuinely grateful for this gift that you've given me. Guys, look around at the gifts we have. Look at the country, most of us that we live in, and the blessings. And it may not be the best it's ever been in life right now, but I can guarantee you there's someone who would trade problems with you like that. There's someone right now getting an email that their business is their job. They don't have a job tomorrow. There's someone getting doctors telling them that they have X number of months to live. There's someone whose family member just got notified. There's someone right now there's people right now struggling way more than you and me. So we all have something to be grateful for. We all have people, like I said, that care about us and that need us, and people that look up to us. You have people that you inspire. You have people, you're doubting your self-worth, and you have people that are intimidated by your potential. You got to go get it. You got to become the best version of yourself because you deserve it. So set higher standards, set goals, write them down, believe you're going to know that you're going to achieve them, expect them to happen in due time, and every day wake up like, hey, God, I'm grateful for what I have, and I know these blessings are coming. Expect the blessings. He expect them to come in avalanches of abundance to come over you and over your life. And when things happen, which they will, outside of your control, things happen in life. Jim Rohn says the same wind blows on us all, except it's your sail that makes the difference. You set your sail. But when things happen, understand how you respond to those things is what matters. Life's happening for you. Look for the lesson. Grow. Become more every day. Expect more. Ask God. I'm just excited for the day because I'm going to just see how good life can get. How good can life really get? Expect it to get better. Expect it to get better. Expect to do more. You can't give from an empty well. Become more so you can give more. Make a difference. Add value to others. You could do it. You could do it. And I believe in all of you. And I'm fired up for the future. I'm fired up from where I'm at right now in business. I'm adding other income streams to my life, but for the most part, I just love working with people. I love inspiring others to live a better life. I love being around positive people in an environment conducive to growth because of the encouragement and people that are uplifting and people that want to see you win. A collaborative environment, not a competitive environment like corporate America. We win by helping other people win. I love to see people win. I like to see my friends succeed. I like to see people I don't resent people who are doing better than you. Understand that should be positive inspiration to know it can be done. Have an abundant mindset, not a fixed scarcity mindset where you think everything's so limited. If someone does well, it's taken away from you. That's not true. Look at wealth like the ocean. They print money out of nowhere. They just print it. There's enough for everybody. In fact, only about 4% of money is even printed. It's just numbers and computers. It's just energy like everything else. Learn to attract it. Learn to attract it. Speak things in your mind. I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Say that. Write it down if you have to. Rewind this if you're watching it. I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Say it till you believe it. Write it down till you believe it. I want you to win. I want everybody that follows me to succeed in life. That's all I want. That's what fulfills me. That's why I do what I do. I've always had a passion to serve. It's the intrinsic motivator that drives me. And all I want is for people to win. And I love to help people win. Ask my team. I get passionate. I talk to them just like I'm talking to you right now. I can't even get off. I'm 50 minutes in. I don't want to hang up because I just want to speak life into you. I want you to know that you can do it. I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to go make it happen. Because so many people are out there telling you that you can't. So many people are making you believe that you can't. But I'm here to tell you that you can. You can. So don't stop until you do. I will until. Expect it to happen, and it will. So I'll respond to the comments in a second. I'll go back and I'll respond to everybody. If you leave a comment, you will get a response from me because that's how I am. I don't take it lightly that you guys engage with this content. You show up, you listen, you support. It means the world to me because that's why I do it. I do it because I love it. I'm obsessed, guys. I'm obsessed. Call me a freak, make fun of me, whatever. I don't I don't care. I love it. I love it. I made up with it. So you guys have a blessed night. Um, let's go make these things happen together. Much love. God bless. Take care. Peace.